How could an Instagram account without a single post manage to shake global conversations, trigger cross-continental euphoria, and make the entertainment industry collectively hold its breath? Is this merely an ordinary social media phenomenon, or a major signal we have not yet dared to fully interpret? That question suddenly surfaced when the name Jungkook, BTS's golden magne, re-emerged into the digital sphere in a way that was anything but conventional, without sound, without images, without an official statement, yet with an impact that was nearly unparalleled in an era where digital existence is measured by posting frequency, feed aesthetics, and algorithmic strategy. Jungkook did the opposite. He returned to Instagram not with a visual explosion or a comeback teaser, but with deliberate emptiness. The account bearing the username @Jungkook slowly yet steadily gathered millions of eyes, eventually surpassing 14 million followers, while its feed remained empty, clean, almost sterile of any content whatsoever. There were no photos, no videos, no captions, no stories. What existed was only a name, a single identity, and a presence powerful enough to set the world in motion. This phenomenon was first announced not by major media outlets or an official agency, but by Jungkook's fanbase in Brazil, John Jungkook Brazil @JohnJungkook_BR, through a post on Platform X on December 28, 2025. The sentence they shared sounded simple, almost casual. Jungkook ultrapassou 14 milhões de seguidores no Instagram. E seguimos com o feed vazio. Yet that was precisely where the explosion lay. Its translation: Jungkook has surpassed 14 million followers on Instagram, and we are still with an empty feed, felt like a statement that openly challenged digital logic itself. How could a number that large be achieved without a single piece of consumable content? The screenshot accompanying the post served as visual proof of this paradox. A short bio reading Jungkook of BTS, a profile picture featuring the JK logo with an infinity symbol, 0 posts, and a follower count that continued to rise as if without limit. He followed only 8 accounts, a small detail that further reinforced an aura of exclusivity and mystery. In a social media world filled with noise, Jungkook chose silence. And that silence, strangely enough, was far louder. Fan responses arrived almost instantly. Army from various countries flooded comment sections and follow-up threads with a blend of emotions difficult to define. Happiness, pride, emotional warmth, and unease all at once. Congratulations from user @AnnieEden, who wrote, "Congratulations Jungkook #Jungkook _Jungkook." We're just one voice among thousands pouring in. Meanwhile, a comment from @Hyperplia1319, "Say vazio já são 14 Daixa soeli postar alguma coisa," meaning if it's already 14 million while empty, just imagine if he posts something, sounded playful, yet carried deeper meaning. That sentence was not merely a joke, but a reflection of a collective awareness that whatever Jungkook does next has the potential to make history. At this point, major questions began to surface. Is this truly Jungkook's official account? Why has there been no confirmation from BTS's official channels or from HYB? Why choose to return to Instagram in such a minimalist, almost ascetic way amid massive public expectations? This uncertainty became the primary fuel for global speculation. International fanbases continue to monitor the account, share its link, and encourage others to follow, as if every click of the follow button were a form of participation in a historical moment still unfolding. It cannot be denied that Jungkook's appeal as an individual has surpassed his status as a BTS member alone. Since debuting with the group in 2013, Jungkook has grown from a shy magne into a global icon dominating charts, stages, and now digital spaces. Solo hits such as 7 and Standing Next to You were not only commercially successful, but also reaffirmed his position as an artist with cross-cultural magnetic power. Therefore, when he returned to Instagram, the public did not perceive it as an ordinary activity, but as an event. What makes this situation even more emotional is its timing. This new Instagram account emerged after Jungkook's mandatory military service, which he was reported to have completed in mid-2025. For many fans, his return to the public sphere, even through an empty account, felt like a first breath after a long wait. There was relief, hope, and joy that could not be explained by statistical numbers alone. Instagram, in this context, was no longer merely a photo-sharing platform, but a symbol of the restored direct connection between Jungkook and the world. Yet it is precisely here that the greatest surprise is hidden. Jungkook offers nothing but his presence. There are no promises, no teasers, no explicit hints. Everything that exists is pure potential. And that potential is what keeps the global public guessing, waiting, and talking. Is this a sign of a solo comeback? Is it the first step toward a new project with BTS? Or is it simply Jungkook asserting that his name alone is enough to move the world? The first chapter of this story is not about what has been posted, but about what has not. About how emptiness can become the strongest narrative. About how an Instagram account without content can reopen major discussions on celebrity power, fan loyalty, and the evolving dynamics of the global entertainment industry. Jungkook is active on Instagram once again, and within that silence, global attention has reached its peak, leaving behind one major unanswered question, and perhaps one that is not meant to be answered just yet. If 14 million followers can be accumulated without a single post, then the next question becomes far more unsettling and sharp. Who is actually controlling whom, Jungkook over the global public, or the global public over Jungkook himself? At this point, the phenomenon of Jungkook's return to Instagram ceases to be merely entertainment news and begins to transform into a social study of symbolic power, mass psychology, and the new ways fame operates in the post-algorithm era. For years, Instagram has been built upon a fundamental assumption that is rarely questioned. Existence must be proven through content. The more frequently someone posts, the greater their chances of surviving on the timeline. Yet Jungkook, with a single silent step, seems to tear that assumption out by its roots. He does not chase the algorithm. He does not bait attention with visuals. He does not work for Instagram. Instead, Instagram appears to work for him, becoming an empty stage filled with the projections of millions of people. This phenomenon cannot be separated from the long history of Jungkook's relationship with the public. Since his teenage years, his life has grown under the glare of cameras, the roar of cheers, and expectations that are nearly impossible for one individual to fulfill. Precisely because of that, every movement he makes is now read not as a spontaneous action, but as a message. When Jungkook chooses an empty feed, the public does not see it as absence, but as a statement, a stance. For some, even a subtle resistance against the culture of oversharing that has long eroded the meaning of celebrity privacy. ARMY, as a global community, plays a crucial role in amplifying this moment. They are not merely passive spectators, but active actors who bring the account to life through discussion, speculation, and collective emotion. Every increase in follower numbers is celebrated like a personal achievement. Every hour without a post is discussed as if it contains hidden codes. This is where fandom psychology operates at full intensity. A sense of ownership intertwined with waiting, hope merging with anxiety. Interestingly, the absence of official confirmation from BTS or HYB only strengthens the account's appeal. In conventional logic, the lack of an official statement should generate doubt. Yet in Jungkook's case, that doubt transforms into a magnet. The public seems to enjoy inhabiting the gray area, where certainty is postponed and imagination is given ample space. The account at Jungkook becomes a kind of collective riddle, and everyone wants to be part of the moment when that riddle is finally solved. From an industry perspective, this situation cannot be taken lightly. 14 million followers without content is a statistic that challenges the entire digital marketing model. Brands, music labels, and social media platforms have long invested massive resources to build engagement, while Jungkook achieves it through mere existence. This is not just proof of popularity, but an indication of a shift in power. Here, the artist's figure no longer fully depends on promotional systems. Instead, the systems are forced to adjust to the figure. Public emotion moves across a wide spectrum. There is genuine happiness, pride in seeing their idol remain at the center of global attention. Yet there is also a faint unease, a fear that expectations raised too high may end in disappointment. Whatever Jungkook posts first, if he posts at all, will be dissected, analyzed, and measured against the imagination of millions. The symbolic burden is so heavy that silence may feel safer than a single wrong step. Behind all of this lies a human dimension often overlooked. Jungkook is not only a global icon, but an individual who has just passed through mandatory military service. a period that often brings personal reflection and shifts in perspective. His return to Instagram can be read as an attempt to rebuild his relationship with the public, but on terms he sets himself. Not rushed, not reactive, not trapped by instant demands. Thus, this empty Instagram account becomes a mirror. It reflects our obsession with digital presence, our dependence on constant updates, and our anxiety when forced to wait without certainty. Jungkook, consciously or not, is testing the world's patience. And so far, the world has chosen to wait with loyalty, with emotion, and with a curiosity that continues to thicken. This second chapter confirms that Jungkook's Instagram story is not about the first photo, but about the space before that photo exists. About power born from delay. About how a single name can move millions of people through quiet presence alone. And the longer that silence lasts, the greater the question that hangs in the air. What is truly being prepared behind the scenes? And how great will the impact be when it is finally revealed? The longer the silence persists, the stronger a realization slowly settles in the minds of the global public. What is happening is neither a coincidence nor a spontaneous, meaningless moment. Jungkook has become active on Instagram again, and the world is not merely waiting for a first post. The world is bracing itself for a symbolic eruption that could reshape the landscape of celebrity digital engagement for a long time to come. The question is no longer when will he post, but rather what will change after it happens? Every hour that passes without an upload only adds emotional weight to this moment. Media outlets begin to speculate in increasingly dramatic language, while the fanbase analyzes every micro-detail of the account profile, from the choice of the infinity symbol in the JK logo to the number of accounts he follows. No detail is considered trivial. Everything holds the potential to be a clue, a code, or even a philosophical statement about Jungkook's new direction as both an artist and an individual. Here, the boundary between reality and public projection grows increasingly blurred. For ARMY, this waiting feels deeply personal. Many see the Instagram account as a small door reopening after a period of distance and restriction during military service. There is hope for closeness, for glimpses of daily life, or simply for a brief greeting that confirms Jungkook is truly back. Yet that hope walks side by side with a rarely spoken fear. The fear that expectations inflated too high may ultimately cause pain. For both fans and the artist himself, on the other side, the entertainment industry observes with a mix of awe and caution. If a single Jungkook upload truly breaks engagement records, it will establish a new precedent. Other artists, labels, and even digital platforms will be forced to reconsider their strategies. Deliberate silence, controlled distance, and minimalist appearances could become a new language of influence building. In this context, Jungkook is not merely poised to set records, but to redefine the rules of the game altogether. Yet there is another possibility, more startling and rarely discussed. What if Jungkook chooses not to post anything for a long time? What if the empty feed is a final statement rather than a temporary phase? In this scenario, the account at Jungkook would be remembered as a digital monument, a vacant space filled with meaning, a symbol of name power and presence without visual exploitation, a paradox that feels strikingly relevant in an era of digital fatigue. Public emotion continues to fluctuate across a wide spectrum. Excitement blends with impatience. Love intertwines with anxiety. Each day without an upload produces two extreme reactions: the belief that something monumental is being prepared, and the worry that this silence may become permanent. Jungkook, perhaps for the first time, holds complete control over the rhythm of global expectation, and he does so without saying a word. Ultimately, this story has no conclusion yet. Jungkook has returned to Instagram and instantly captured global attention, not because of what he shows, but because of what he withholds. The world now exists in a state of waiting, caught between hope and uncertainty, between euphoria and reflection. And it is precisely within this gray zone that the story becomes its strongest, most emotional, and most human when that first post finally appears. If it appears, it will not stand alone. It will carry the weight of millions of gazes, thousands of speculations, and a long wait that has transformed an empty account into the center of global conversation. Until that moment arrives, one thing is already clear. Jungkook's silence is not ordinary emptiness. It is a story being written slowly, with the world as its impatient reader, waiting for the next page. What makes this moment especially compelling is how it exposes a shift in collective behavior that has been quietly forming for years. Audiences have grown accustomed to constant access, daily updates, behind-the-scenes clips, live streams that blur the line between performance and private life. Jungkook's choice to remain silent disrupts that expectation, forces a pause. It asks implicitly whether connection must always be mediated through relentless visibility, or whether restraint itself can create a deeper, more durable bond. In many ways, the empty feed becomes a mirror reflecting the public's own habits. The compulsive refreshing, the endless theorizing, the emotional investment in absence, all of it reveals how deeply modern attention economies rely on anticipation rather than fulfillment. Jungkook's Instagram does not provide content, it generates tension. And tension, as any storyteller knows, is often more powerful than resolution. This tension also reframes Jungkook's image. For years, he has been associated with intensity. Intense performance, intense work ethic, intense devotion from fans. Now, paradoxically, he is associated with stillness. That stillness does not weaken his presence, it amplifies it. By stepping back, he creates space for interpretation, and in that space his figure expands, becoming less a pop idol defined by outputs and more a cultural symbol shaped by collective meaning. There is also a subtle recalibration of power at play. Platforms like Instagram are designed to reward frequency, consistency, and algorithmic compliance. Jungkook's inactivity resists that logic. His account thrives not because it feeds the system, but because the system feeds on him. Each new follower, each headline, each viral discussion underscores an uncomfortable truth for digital platforms. True influence cannot always be engineered. Sometimes it simply exists and systems must bend around it. For fans, this realization can be both empowering and unsettling. On one hand, it affirms that their connection to Jungkook transcends posts and metrics. On the other, it challenges them to confront the limits of access. Waiting without guarantees is emotionally demanding. It requires trust, patience, and a willingness to accept that the artist's autonomy may not always align with fan desires. In this sense, the silence becomes a quiet negotiation between devotion and respect. As days turn into weeks, the narrative continues to evolve without a single new image or caption. Analysts write think pieces. Fans create timelines. Casual observers become intrigued precisely because there is nothing to see. The absence itself becomes content, arguably the most potent kind in an age oversaturated with noise. Whether Jungkook eventually posts tomorrow, next month, or not at all, the impact of this moment is already irreversible. He has demonstrated that presence does not require constant proof, that relevance can be sustained through intention rather than volume. In doing so, he has not only reclaimed control over his own narrative but has also quietly challenged an entire digital culture built on perpetual exposure. And so the waiting continues, not as empty time but as charged time, filled with meaning, projection, and possibility. Jungkook's Instagram remains still, yet alive with attention, a reminder that sometimes the most powerful statement an artist can make is not in what they reveal, but in what they choose deliberately to leave unsaid.